Truck Talk Media.
What is up? What is up? How about a little retro release? Going back to episode 5 with Rene Martinez, aka the C10 King. I interviewed Renee in 2014 at the Get Down. So the pod was new. I had just dropped episode 1/2, kind of the first interview, which was Dino. And then I had interviewed the guys over at Early Classic. I don't think Renee knew what the hell to expect. I was doing interviews at the Get Down, and I said, hey, I'd love to get you. Let's schedule it. And he says, nope, if you want to do it, we're going to do it here and more of a face-to-face. So I got my recording equipment, and that Saturday, now remember the Get Down was primarily just Friday, so that Saturday we knocked it out in his hotel room. That's right, in his hotel room. Again, I don't know if Renee knew what to expect, but one thing about Renee, he is always good for a great story and very entertaining. If you ever get a chance to meet him, I hope you talk to him and just talk to him about C10s. You'll have him at C10s. If you bring it up, he'll be ready. He'll be ready to rock. He'll be ready to roll. And he's probably got a little Johnny story for you, too. All right. I was out of town on vacation, took the family, went out to Hawaii for fall break. In Arizona, we have kind of an extended fall break, so I didn't grab an episode, so this is a perfect time for a retro release. And Renee had a birthday, so again, way to go. Next up, we're going to have Dino. We're going to talk about the Get Down coming up here, so that'll be next week. And then probably be headed out to SEMA, so we'll have some content from SEMA. We've got the C10 Fall Revival. Now, we're not going, but that is October 21st, 22nd out in North Carolina. Now, we did go last year. Great show. If you're out in that area, hit them up. C10 Fall Revival, Oakboro, Tennessee. It's going to be a 2-day show this year, Friday and Saturday, the 21st and 22nd of October. SEMA after that, so I'll be headed up to SEMA. And then the Get Down. It is time. I mean, it's right around the corner. We're at a month away. I did talk to Dino a little bit today, and he's getting all the last-minute things nailed down. We'll probably run out there, do some videos like we have in the past, and then we'll get you an updated pod, and that will come out next week. Another thing, this Thursday, October 14th, if you grew up in the 80s, well, it doesn't really matter if you just like old, cool, nostalgic movies, the 35th anniversary for the movie Rad. They're going to do kind of a retro release, no pun intended on that, ironically enough, and you can get online in selected theaters throughout the country, 7 o'clock, October 14th. You get to watch it in the big screen. And I'll be honest with you, I never saw it in the big screen. That movie, I believe, was kind of a flop for the big screen, but we absolutely wore that thing out on VHS. So, 35th anniversary, Rad. If you're listening to this and you were a fan, let's go. 7 o'clock, Thursday, October 14th. All right, guys, enjoy the retro release with Renee, the C10 King. I'll be back next week with Dino and Get Down update episode. Until then, stay out of trouble and do what you do. Late. Hey guys, I've got David Odegaard, product manager, United Pacific Industries. David, what's the latest?
You know, one of our hottest items is the side mirrors with the directionals built into them, the LED arrow. You know, these look cool. They look original. And however, when you're driving at night, and you're changing lanes, that guy that sits in your blind spot, we all know who he is, he'll see that you're indicating and you're coming over. And there's a great safety factor with these mirrors, and they look cool too.
Blind spot guy, we don't want you there, but the United Pacific side mirrors, they work great. I have them on Orange Slice. I love them. How about the guys that are looking to go long bed to short bed? What are you guys offering them?
Yeah, we have all the parts for the 67 to 72 bed. You know, new bed floors or whatever you may need, a new bedside, or that bed front that's always been smashed in by 50 years of stuff being, hauled in the bed.
Yeah, these trucks have been worked so hard over the years. We love that about our trucks, but you might have a floor that's dinged up. You need some parts. United Pacific's got it for you. What else are you guys working on?
Later this summer, we're going to have the front parking lights for the square bodies, 73 to 80. These are full LED. They've got the deluxe stainless steel trim around them. And, it's just a plug and play installation. And it's that final missing piece to convert your square body completely over to LED.
Perfect. So if you guys need some directional mirrors, some bedsides, bed floor, or maybe some LED lighting, United Pacific, upcarparts.com. That's upcarparts.com. But wait, there's more. You could save 15% by using code C10Talk15. That's C10Talk15 to save 15%. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll see you out there on the road.
C10 Talk, Episode 5. Rene Martinez. You might know him as the C10 King. We talked to Rene about how it all started, how he got the name, and how many C10s this guy's had. Damn, son. All right. Well, we've had an interesting weekend this weekend. We started out on Friday at the Get Down, and I've got some pretty raw footage from the weekend with just all the folks that came out to Dino's Get Down. It was a blast. And today was out at Good Guys in Scottsdale, hanging out with the C10 crew, the C10 club. Just a lot of fun. One of the neat things about some of these builders that we're going to interview is that they're taking the time to come in and allow me to interview them. So I've talked to our guest today a few times about getting together, and he said, hey, I'm coming out for Good Guys. Let's do it. And I'm honored to have him. Just a guy that I've looked up to since I got into the truck scene. Once I knew who he was, and then once I actually met him, just unbelievably down-to-earth guy, and we're really happy to have him. So today we have none other than the C10 King, Rene Martinez, with us, also a founding father of the C10 Club. Thanks, Rene. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Ronnie.
Thanks
Pleasure
for coming
to be
in.
here. Oh, shit. I enjoy a good time over here with Dino. What can I say?
All
I
right.
wouldn't miss it for all the money in the world.
Well,
I'll be back next year.
or a wedding.
That's another story.
We're glad to have you. Start it right off. How, for all of us, it's different, whether it was our dad or a neighbor that we had, a big brother that we looked up to, that got us into the truck scene. What got you into the truck scene? How did you get into the truck scene?
Well, my earliest recollections probably have to be with my grandfather back in the late 60s. I go visit my grandfather, and he had a 1963 Chevy pickup. I go visit him, and he'd take me everywhere. And back then, things were a little different. Anybody who's my age, 50s and 60s, I can remember people cruising around with an open container. My earliest recollection of cruising in a Chevy truck is my grandfather's 63. He'd take me for a ride. He'd always grab something cold out of the refrigerator, a paper bag to put it in, and we'd take off. Every now and then he needed a refill, so I have to go help him and get a refill, or he would get it, and I'd hold the steering wheel for him, and help him steer. Then later on, 1971, my dad bought a Chevy Cheyenne, Hugger orange with a blue interior. Plain Jane. I've never seen that color combination before, and my dad bought it brand new. I drove it for 3 years, and when my brother graduated from high school in 74, he gave it to my brother. So my brother drove it for 4 years, and in 78, my brother asked me, he goes, hey, do you want to buy my truck? And back then, I go, I don't want a pickup. I want a 57 Chevy. So he goes, give me $500 and you can have the Cheyenne. I go, nah, I don't want it. So my brother sold it, called my uncle, sold it to my uncle, and the pickup went away, and I got my 57 Chevy. Well, fast forward to about 1984. I was going down the street. I was going home from work, cruising in my, don't laugh, my Nissan hardbody. I hated it. I got that truck. I needed a commuter. I just started a new job. I needed some reliable transportation. I bought the pickup, tinted the windows, lowered it a little bit, put on a bra. I was okay with that.
Got to have a bra. It's 84.
Yeah. Got to have a bra. It's 84. Well, then all of a sudden, these young kids with these pretty hairdos, these little skinny ties would come up to me. Hey, you gonna fix that up? Get away from me. I'm not into this little pickup thing. Back then, I was into 54 Chevys, 51 Chevys, 57 Chevy. I was into the bomb scene. I'm a bomb driver. I don't drive these boy pickups. But yet, I was driving one. I drove it for a little while. Then one day, I was going down the street. I was going home. Right in front of me pulled a 1972 Chevy. Baby shit yellow, ochre and white. I saw this pickup, and I could probably even tell you the date I saw it. It was in April. I saw this pickup, and I started following it. Back then, we had U.S. mags, and I really didn't like the wheel because they were all over the place. I hated Kragers more, but these I didn't like. But it had 60s. It was lowered a little bit, and it looked nice going down the road. So I started following it. I followed it for a couple of miles. I even passed my house and just kept following it. And I decided right then and there, I go, I want a real truck. I want a real truck. So my dad's old one, I called up my uncle who had bought it. Uncle Bob. Hey, this is me. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Hey, pretty good. Hey, I want a pickup. How about some of my dad's old pickup? He laughed at me and said, go find your own. And I go, oh, come on, Uncle Bob. He goes, no, this is my truck. Go find your own. So I thought, I got off the phone. He laughed at me. I'll go find my own. So a few years went by. I drove my Nissan hardbody. It was 87, 3 years later. I went to work, and a co-worker of mine, he had just went through a second childhood, went through a divorce, and he pulls up in the parking lot in this step side. Back in the 80s, the step sides were hot. Everybody wanted step sides. That was the in thing, the California step side. He pulls in with this green one. It's lowered. It had a 454, and he's chirping the tires in the parking lot. And it was a nice truck. And I go, wow, that's a bad truck. Where'd you get that at? He goes, my brother-in-law. He works for a dealership in Montclair, California. He said the owner's liquidating some of his vehicles, has 7 trucks he's selling. And I go, wow, I'd like to have me an old Chevy truck. And he goes, let me call my brother-in-law, see what he has. I go, see if he has a 71 or 72 short fleet. So he goes, all right. I was just saying that. I wasn't really paying attention. The next day I come into work. My co-worker's there. After he's done chirping the tires, hands me a piece of paper. I go, what's this? My brother-in-law says, call him. He thinks he has something you might want. So I go, oh. Kind of scratch my head. All right. So it was Friday. I was just thinking about it the whole day. Saturday morning, I got up enough nerve, called him, and he goes, hey, come down here right now. I got a clean pickup I think you'll like. So I go, all right. So I drive down over there. And he goes, I went over there, introduced myself. He goes, I got a clean 1970 jet black short fleet, stock condition. It's a nice truck. I go, it's 17 years old. How nice can it be? He goes, well, let me put it this way. Because I've been selling cars for over 25 years. I know a nice vehicle. We walk out in the back, pulls off this car cover, stock, factory black, short fleet, clean, black California plates, bucket seats. I had never seen bucket seats before in a pickup. I go, these come out of a Camaro? He goes, no, they're factory. Power steering, power brakes, had a nice black camper shell. I go, wow, this kind of looks like a Blazer. This is kind of cool. So he gave me the keys, goes, take it for a ride. It was a 3 on the tree, V8. Drove fantastic. It was clean. Everything handled perfect, went down the road straight. So I come back, he goes, what do you think? I go, I like it. What's the damages? He goes, $2,500. He won't take a penny less.
$2,500.
$2,500.
$2,500.
So I go, and this thing was nice. So I go, you know what? Can I give you a deposit? Can you give me a week to get the money together? He said, yeah, no problem. Gave him a $100 deposit. Borrowed the money from my sister.
I thought you might be borrowing it from Uncle Bob.
No. And that's funny because after I got the truck, I showed it to him. I go, how do you like me now?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was all
You showed
good.
him.
Yeah. But that's where it all started. I got my first truck.
So how long did you have that truck?
You know what? I had that truck for, 5 years, 6 years. I had it for about 7 years, and I had went through a divorce, had a few bills, and one day I just woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to sell the truck and pay off my bills. Biggest mistake. I was paying them off, but I sold it. Talk about seller's remorse 2 days ago. It's like, what have I done? People were telling me, you're never, ever going to find a truck like that again. But I did. It was 15 years later, but I did get me another truck like that, plus a few other ones.
So did you try to drive that one back or buy that one back?
No. Once it was gone, it was gone. It was gone. And it was funny because the guy I sold it to was a flipper. Back then, I didn't know what a flipper was. Yeah, now I do. I see one in the mirror every day. But anyway, yeah, the guy sold it, and somebody goes, "Don't sell this guy. He's going to sell for more money." No, he told me he wanted it. It was gone 2 weeks later. It was gone probably the next day. He probably already had a buyer for it. But yeah, I was like, man, what have I done? So I got rid of it. It went down the road, and I wanted an old car again, so I had bought me a '54 Chevy about 3 months later just to pacify me. And believe it or not, I still have the '54 Chevy. I've had the car for 20 years and almost 20 years, and I've never had a car that long in my life. But yeah, after I got rid of the truck and stuff, later on, we needed a pickup. And I told my wife, I go, hey, let's go buy a pickup. And, we had kids, so we bought a Silverado. Extended cab, Silverado, camper shell. Well, we've had that for a while, and we went everywhere in it. Well, after the kids got older, they quit going with us places. So I told the wife, I go, you know what, I'm going to get rid of the Silverado. I had a Honda Accord for a commuter car, and I told the wife, let's get you a Honda Accord. So we got our Honda Accord, and I got rid of the Silverado. I have at the time, he passed away, but my godfather, my Nino, very smart man, retired from the Air Force, worked security at Foster Farms Restaurant, just a sharp man. Always looked good, always dressed nice, always good advice. He goes, I heard you sold your pickup. I go, yeah. He goes, why did you sell your truck? I go, well, the kids don't go with us. He goes, don't you know every man needs a pickup? He goes, you own a home, you're going to need a pickup. You're going to need to go pick up some wood. You're going to need to go pick up some dirt. You're going to need to go pick up a mattress. You're going to need to go to the dump. Every man needs a pickup. A week later, we went to a furniture store. Wife wanted a cabinet.
No pickup.
No pickup. Had to call my cousin. Hey, can I borrow your pickup? You know what? My Nino was right. So I told the wife, and my wife is excellent. We'll get into that later. My wife is excellent. I go, honey, I'm going to go buy me a pickup. Well, we just sold one. Yeah, but I'm going to go buy me an old one. And she goes, an old one? I go, yeah. She goes, what are you going to get? I'm going to go find me a 1971 or 1972 Cheyenne short fleet with all the bells and whistles. Okay. I go, I'll take my time and I'll go find me one. Later that night, same day.
This is before Craigslist.
Yeah, way before Craigslist.
Or social media.
We're coming home from a barbecue, and I seen this 72 Chevy. It was a step side. It was teal, and I remember seeing the truck before. This father had restored it for his son. Put a lot of money into it. He put a lot of money to it. Tilt, tack, nice paint job, motor, and everything. It was done up nice. I didn't like the wheels. I didn't like the stance, but it was a nice pickup. The son didn't appreciate it. The son was a spoiled kid, did not appreciate it. His dad I think the dad liked it for himself, but gave it to the son and told the son, you'll like it. The son didn't take care of it. The pickup was filthy. It had a dent in the back and had a for sale sign. And I think the price was probably like about $8,000. So I went over there and I looked at it and I go, man, what a shame. What a nice truck just to let it go to waste. So the kid was coming out and I go, hey, pickup's for sale, huh? He goes, yeah. I go, why? He goes, I don't like it. I think he wanted to get a Dodge Dakota or a Ranger.
A hard body.
Yeah, or something. And I go, I'll tell you what. Here's my name. Here's my number. I'll give you $5,000. He goes, you know, if it was up to me, I'd take it. But I got to talk to my dad. Next day, my phone rings. Kid calls me up. Hey, we'll take the $5,000. Come over. I live over here. Drive down to his house with the money. Walked in the house. Son's mad at the dad. Dad's mad. You could cut the tension with a knife. I give him the $5,000. Dad's just looking up in the air. Gives me the pink slip. I take off my truck. Next morning, I get up, clean it real good, wash it, wax it, vacuum it. Has a cracked windshield. I go put a windshield in it. I look at the wheels. I say, I go to America's Tires. Let's go some old school. Get me some baby moons, 8-inch baby moons. 255, 60, 15s. Called up my cousin Richie. Let's lower the front. Let's cut the coils. Needs a little bit of a drop in the front. Came out nice. Had Flowmasters, tilt, tack, nice stereo. I started cruising that bad boy. Everywhere I went, you want to sell the truck? No, get away from me. You want to sell the truck? No, it's not for sale. Get away. Truck's not for sale. It's like that for about a year and a half. One day a guy comes up to me and I go, you know what? Give me $9,500. He goes, really? And I thought he was being a smart, thought he was being smart. And he goes, can I go to the ATM and give you a deposit? I go, what? He goes, I'll give you $400 deposit. I'll be here tomorrow with the money. We shake hands, go to the ATM, give me $400. I come home. Hey, you never guess what I did. And my wife goes, what? I go, I sold my truck. She goes, the truck you had to have? I go, yeah. She goes, why'd you sell it? I go, for 9,500 reasons. She goes, what? I go, yeah, the guys give me $9,500. The truck you spent $5,000 on? Yeah.
How long did you have it at that point?
Year and a half, maybe 2 years. So
that's
then I went out.
That's a good investment.
It was a real good investment. It worked out good for me. I was happy. So she goes, well, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to go buy me another truck. So I went out and bought me a 68. Went to the Good Guy show in Pleasanton. Found me a 68. The guy thought, I think he wanted $6,000. He thought he wanted $6,000. $4,200 later, I drive home with this 68, a tilt and a tack, bucket seats, CST, red. And the thing was, people were walking by, it had ugly wheels. Sometimes people can't see into it. All you got to do is just change the wheels, change the stance, and it was a stalker. So I go, you know what?
Is it a fleet side?
Short fleet. The moldings, it was a nice truck. I go, I'm going to put this one stock. Got me some stock Steelies, white wall with an inch and a half white wall, Coker tires, stock hubcaps, looked totally stock. Got a couple little boo-boos on it, but overall, rust-free truck. Started driving it. Guess what happened? You want to sell that? You want to sell that? You want to sell that? So I started thinking, I go, well, I could probably sell it here in town, or I could pick me up an auto trader and advertise to everybody. Put in the auto trader. Phone wouldn't stop ringing. Priced it high. Sold. Then from there, I started buying 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks. At one time, I had 17 vehicles. 17 vehicles. When the economy was good, oh my God.
So I think we know how the flipper started.
Yeah. Again, look in the mirror, the guy that showed me what to do.
So how long did you have the red 68?
I could say 3 months, and it could have been 6 months, but it went.
Less than a year.
Oh, yeah, less than a year.
Yeah, you had the bug at that point.
Yeah. Then I started spending a little bit more. My wife couldn't believe, how many times people would come up to me. Then and there, my wife saw and supported me.
When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, BrothersTrucks.com is your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration parts. So whether you are restoring an original or looking to customize that classic truck, BrothersTrucks.com has thousands of the highest quality truck parts for you to choose from. So head over to BrothersTrucks.com and order your free catalog today. And don't forget to follow Brothers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates and special offers too. With a company history dating back to 1949, Airlift Performance brings a dedication and expertise to those looking for a life on air. Their 3H system combines pressure-based control with ride height sensing technology, harnessing both systems, including an intuitive handheld controller providing at-a-glance status of pressure and height conditions. Every 3H system comes standard with Bluetooth technology built right in, and a free companion mobile app allowing wireless control for most smartphones and mobile devices. Designed for a life on air. AirliftPerformance.com. C10 Nation, what's stopping you? Well, CPP has you covered. They offer multiple different options to make the disc brake conversion as easy as possible on both you and your wallet. And I am so stoked to announce they are giving our listeners 10% off your total order. 10%. Damn, son. From stock height conversions to their Big Brake Grand Slam kit. How's your altitude? You need to get a little lower? CPP has you covered there too. They offer a wide variety of drop kits for you to choose from. Guys, take advantage of this 10% savings now. Head over to classicperform.com. That's classicperform.com and use special code C10 Talk. That's C10 Talk to save big today.
My wife couldn't believe, how many times people would come up to me. Then and there, my wife saw and supported me. So then I went out and...
Don't you think that because you had the vision, though, of, like, say, the 68, that the way the wheels were, or with the kid, that it took that combination of your vision and your ability to say, I'm going to give this truck the attitude it needs, where apparently everybody else, they didn't have that, and you had it, and so it took that formula of you having that vision.
Which is good, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a mechanic. I cannot build a motor. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. Luckily, I have good friends that can. But I can look at a vehicle and say, it needs this, it needs that, it needs to be lowered, it needs that molding, it needs this. Take that away, exchange it with that. That's the gift I have, luckily. So then after that, I went out and bought me a high dollar truck. I found me this beautiful Cheyenne Super green and white. And it was for sale. The guy thought he wanted $18,000. It was nice.
And this is early 90s?
This is probably...
No.
We're already in 2000.
Okay.
So we're talking about 2003, and it could be 2004. And this was green and white. It was a beautiful truck. It had a good motor. They had took it all apart, painted it, and the guy had some 15 torque thrust on it. And I just happened to have a set of 17-inch torque thrust. But anyway, so he had it for sale, and it was a nice truck, and all these guys were standing around it. And this is one of my favorite moves. I love doing this move. You get all these looky-loos standing around there, and I walk up to the owner. I put my arm around him. I go, let's go for a ride. I have money. All those looky-loos stay there with their mouths open and their fingers and their in their mouth, and we drive off. So my wife, my wife's really cool, and we have this signal that we use, mostly when we buy cars. Because if anybody's bought a car, the salesman always tries to play one against the other, tries to do this and that. My wife's hip to that, so I always tell my wife, when we go buy a car...
You're going to let your secrets out, be careful.
This is one that's okay. I tell her, don't let him play you against me. I go, if he says, what do you think about the deal? You refer back to me. I go, if you like the car, just squeeze my arm. Okay? But smile when I say smile, nod when I tell you to nod, and when I say let's go, stand up and we leave. So that's what we do when we buy new cars. Well, we get in the car for the ride. All of a sudden, my wife starts squeezing my arm a lot. And we went to go put gas. The guy went to go put gas. And my wife tells me, you know what? This is a nice truck. I can't find anything wrong with it. I go, yeah, it's beautiful. She goes, are you really going to pay 18? I go, hell no. I go, I'm probably going to get it for 13 or 14. I'm going to try to. So anyway, I could go into detail, but by the time the smoke cleared, I got it for 14.
So for all you young listeners out there, make sure you have the signals down with your wife, because that could have just saved you. Renee just saved you $5,000 with the guy that says he's going to go have to ask his manager whether or not he can sell you that car or not. Well, my next question, and you've done a great job of why you are the C10 King, because of the C10s and having that vision and the amount of C10s that you've had. How did that name come about? How did the name of the C10 King?
Well, after I got that truck, and I had another one that was just like a driver. It was the same thing, ochre. Once I saw that ochre truck, and that's funny, that's one of them colors. Can I say baby shit yellow on the radio?
Sure.
Okay, baby shit yellow is one of those colors I notice. People either love it or they hate it. I love it. But I've heard people say, I hate that color. I love it. I had a nice little driver that was baby shit yellow, and somebody made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I picked it up, and he had to have it worse than me, and I made a good amount of money on it. But after I bought the green pickup, it's like, you know what? I'd like to get me another one. My cousin told me about one on eBay. He goes, I found a pickup equally as nice as your green one, and it's ochre color. So I told him, no, I don't need another truck. I don't need another high dollar truck. He goes, you're going to want this one. I go, no, I'm not. He goes, you're going to want this one. I go, no, I'm not. He goes, you're going to want it. I go, no. He goes, come on, let's go look at it. I go, no. And it wasn't far from my house. It was only about 45 minutes. I go, no, I got my green one. He goes, you're going to want this one? I go, no, I'm not. He goes, come on, look on eBay. You're going to want it. I go, no. We went back and forth. And he just kept nagging me. And I go, all right, I'm going to look at it. I looked at it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I called up my cousin. I said, let's go look at it. He goes, I already told him we'd be there in 45 minutes. We went, bought the truck.
The rest is history.
Same price. My wife just asked me, do you have a love connection? I go, yes, I did. Bought that truck, and then a few months later, I bought this green and white 68 that I thought it kind of looked like a Gumby green color. Again, I had been looking at this truck for about 4 years. I talked to the owner, and it was a nice truck, but I didn't like the way he finished it. And I told, dude, this is a nice truck, and he had these rally rims that were too new. It was a newer style rally rims, a thin white wall. I go, dude, this truck needs a thicker white wall with a stock hubcap. Then it was a two-tone on the top. I go, it could use some white on the bottom. And he goes, no. He goes, I got so much money into this pickup, I'm not going to put another dime. So I've been bugging him. And every time I see him, I go, and he'd take it to some of the swap meets and shows just to take it, just to make us drool all over it. And I always told him, man, if this was my truck, this is what I do with it. Man, if this was my truck, this is what I do with it. One day I get a phone call from the guy. And he calls me, he goes, Renee. I go, yeah, what's going on? He goes, hey, he had that pickup and he had a Cheyenne, a green one like the one I had. And they were both nice trucks. This was one of these original guys that everything had to be original. I hate that word, original. I hate that word. You say your truck's original, your car's original, and everybody, it's their mission to break it apart and find what's not original. You see these descriptions, original, then original, all original except. And, it's been repainted, it's this and that. It's not, but anyway, don't get me into that. Anyway, but he was one of these original, numbers matching thing that was good for me. He calls me up and said somebody broke into his Cheyenne. That he has a 2-car garage, and the 68 stayed in there, and his wife's car stayed in one. But the Cheyenne had to stay outside, and somebody broke in. And they did a nasty job. It looked like they got a can opener and pried the door open. It was sad. He goes, I'm going to get rid of the 68. And he goes, I'm going to give you a really good deal on the 68.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, but you got to finish it the way you told me. I got a big old smile. I go, are you going to change your mind? He said, no. I go, okay. Bring me the pickup today. And he goes, I get out of work I go, I don't care. I don't want you to change your mind. I want you to bring the pickup. He goes, all right, I'm going to bring it late. I go, okay. He goes, but you got to finish it, and I'm going to check. I go, no problem. I will finish it the way I told you it needs to be done. So anyway, he said, okay. He brought it over to my house that night. He goes, I'm going to give you 6 months. I go, dude, I'm Mr. Impatient. Give me 2 weeks. I got my boy, Kevin Hernandez from Kev's Classics, on standby. I took tomorrow off from work. I'm going to Coker and buying some white walls. I already have the hubcaps. Kevin's going to do the two-tone, and it needed a tilt and attack. I go, Kevin's going to make it look factory. He goes, 2 weeks? I go, 2 weeks.
Now, did it have buckets? Because you put
buckets in. It had factory bucket seats.
Right. Yeah, I remember the
factory bucket seats, yeah. Next day, I went down to Fresno, Coker Tires, bought my tires, painted those Stillies to match the pickup because he had some leftover paint. And Saturday morning, went over to Kevin. By Saturday night, Kevin said, it's done. You want to pick it up tonight? Or you want, let's let the paint dry. I mean, it was that quick. And Gumby was born. And it was funny because we kept Gumby like that for probably about 3 years. But after a while, I got kind of bored. And it was an old man's truck. It sat up high, and I felt like on one of the shows, I felt like an old man, outdated suit and some wingtip shoes, and I just felt like an old man, It stayed like that for a while.
But now when I remember this made a huge, I remember telling my wife, showing her the Classic Truck magazine.
That was funny. And I took it to the Brothers show. And it was probably about 2006. Big show in Southern California that I recommend to anybody. If you can only go to one show a year, the Brothers Truck Show is the show to go to. They treat us like royalty, but that's a good show. Well, let me back up a little bit. I got a good friend, Kevin Hernandez.
Do you need a backer? Beep, 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 beep. Back it on up.
So anyway, I take it to the Brothers show. As soon as I get there, I got all these guys with cameras just coming up. All of a sudden, this photographer has a really nice, expensive-looking camera, so I figured he was somebody. Hands me his card, tells me his name's Grant Peterson, and said, hey, has anybody ever done a photo shoot on this? I go, no. I've been waiting for somebody to ask. I just got there. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me. So he hands me a card and says, can you be over here at my office, or be over here, meet me Wednesday? I go, no, I don't live over here. I used to live in Southern California, but now I live in the Central Valley. He goes, how far? I go, about 300 miles. He kind of made a face. I go, but I'll tell you what. You come over to my house, and I'm going to make it worth your while. And he goes, how's that? I go, because I got 2 other show trucks at home. He goes, I'll be there. So to kind of sum it up, he came over. We had a big old photo shoot with 3 trucks. He took like 200 pictures of each truck. He was happy. I was happy. Oh, a couple months later, he goes, guess what? You're going to be on the cover of Classic Trucks. Really? A couple months later, comes out. Big old cover, my trucks. And it says, King of the C10s with a question mark. Wow, all my friends, it was something. It was something. It made me feel real good. It was like, wow, this is really cool.
Now that's the first magazine that you were in at that point.
Yeah, that was pretty much the first magazine. I mean, there might have been in the background, a little bit here and a little bit there with the other green truck, but this was, first photo shoots, cover,
Oh, I mean, again, the first time I met Renee, I was probably starstruck because I remember getting that magazine and I still have it to this day. And
Really? I thought I bought all the copies.
Your wife did. So I had it. I showed my wife and I was just like, this is who I want to be. I mean, I love it. I love the ochre, the two-tone, your green two-tone, green and white. And then obviously the 68. But if I remember right, it was on each one. He did a write-up on each one.
On all 3 magazines.
So it had all 3 of them.
He put 2 articles in one book, and then about another 4 months later, he did the 3rd article in a different book.
Was the 3rd article on Gumby separate?
No, actually Gumby and the
green and white one then.
Yeah, it was Gumby and the baby shit yellow one.
Okay.
The ochre color were in one magazine.
Oh, and
then the green and white one was in the other one.
I mean, I was like, this guy, look, it's okay, honey. It's okay to have 3 trucks. And obviously...
And actually, I had another one, a 4th one, that was a big block Cheyenne that I probably should have kept, should have, would have, could have. That was a nice truck. It wasn't done. And it was funny because it had more of the patina look, but that wasn't the style back then, But maybe it helped start it. I don't know. But that was a factory big block pickup. And there was another one that after I bought that, I told my wife... after I bought Gumby, and I bought these 3 high-dollar trucks. And it's funny because I normally don't ask my wife. I just go out and do it. Well, this guy calls me up and tells me I got a black Cheyenne. It wasn't a super factory big block AC truck. And he wanted something like 95. He thought he wanted $9,500. So I felt kind of guilty because all this is within a 6-month span. So I go, honey, I got a phone call from a guy, and
we got no more money, Renee. Quit looking at trucks.
No, quite the opposite. I go, he called me up, offered me a really good deal on a black Cheyenne. What do you think? She goes, why are you asking me? Let's just go get it.
Wow.
That's my wife. That's my wife who was with me and sees when I always get all these people, do you want to sell that? Do you want to sell that? That's my wife. But I go, okay, I'm going to get this one, but I'm going to sell it real quick. And I did. And she saw I made like about $3,000 off of it almost overnight. So
yeah, so she at this point she knows.
She knows.
She knows about
my
the flipper.
wife looks for these trucks for me, and she does nails for a living. And she'll have a client, and the client might mention, "Oh, my husband has an old pickup. Does he want to sell it?"
So let's beep beep beep. Let's back up. Okay. So the cover of this truck says the King of the C10s.
Yes.
So then I'm assuming that your buddies, your homies, and they're just laying it on thick.
Yeah. Some are laughing at me. Some are, all right, hey, it's cool, and most of them are laughing at me.
Oh, look, Renee, you're the king of the C10s.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I didn't look at it that way, and I kind of still don't. I don't go out and tell everybody, hi, I'm the C10 King. I kind of just tell them who I am, and they look at me, and then I have to say that, and I kind of, say it humbly because, I feel like I'm tooting my own horn because I'm just like everybody else. I put my pants on one leg at a time.
Well, I think with like even Instagram and the forum, you become recognized as your handle or your name, your C10 King
when
name.
I got into the forum, which was a wonderful thing, the forum's been good to me, the 6772 forum. My good buddy Kevin, hey, these guys really want you to get on the forum, and this was like, he'd been talking about it when the magazine came out. I don't know nothing about a computer. I didn't know nothing, and they finally talked me into it. And come on, they really want you to join. So they kind of talked me in, showed me how to get on it. The wife kind of, this and that. And I go, what would I go by? And Kevin, C10 King. And I felt weird going by that, So, okay, C10 King. And I got on the forum. The first time I got on there, I had just got on, and this guy sends me a private message. I didn't even know him. How to answer it back, and I think you guys might know who he is. He goes by the name John Oro.
Yeah, I think we know who he is.
Welcoming me and this and that and this, and telling me, he goes, oh, you know what? His wife has family down the street from me. It's a small world. He's from Long Beach. I'm 300 miles away.
How did he know that? Was he stalking you?
Well, he said he was at the Sizzler in town and saw my ochre truck going down the street. And he said to one of the cousins, goes, who's that? Ah, some guy that lives there in town that has a bunch of trucks.
The C10 King.
I guess. So then, John, this and that. And, then, hey, we're going to go down to the Brothers Show. You want to join? And that's where something else took place and really got the ball rolling, as you know. Our little C10 club, thanks to John, Kevin, and everybody else, they got the ball rolling because...
Well, don't you think that kind of adds to the C10 King, the kingness of it?
That adds to the C10 clubness of it.
Well, okay, yeah. But we like to call John the John Father, whether he likes it or not. But
John's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
That guy is awesome.
But I feel like all of you...
Don't believe everything he says, but he's a good dude.
I feel like with all of you, the C10 King and John and Kevin... that adds to the C10 club, but it also adds to who the C10 King is. So you got to have a king if you're going to have a club.
Yeah.
So the C10, you guys just kind of put your heads together and said, hey, let's throw a club together?
Well, you want to know the roots, or you want to know how it really started, or you want me to lie? Anyway, this is how I got started. Christmas, 1999.
Hey, guys, I have Andrew from Painless on. Andrew, our guys are thinking about rewiring their truck. Why should they choose Painless Performance?
Well, Ronnie, we've been doing it 30 years now. We're American made, American proud. We have unmatched tech support. You'll get one of our guys right here in Fort Worth, Texas, if you have a call. And, our installation manual is full color and covers everything you need to know.
There you go, guys. You get rid of that 40-plus-year-old wiring. You get easy-to-read printed wiring. PainlessPerformance.com. They've got you covered if you want to go OG Classic or if you want to go something customized. Thanks, Andrew. PainlessPerformance.com. Hey, guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT-based power plant? We've got great news for you. PSI Conversion is offering our listeners 10% off your order. Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's psiconversion.com. And don't forget, use code C10TALK and save 10% today. You've heard me talk about my gauges, Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. Whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. Just don't do it while you're driving. I'm looking at RPM, trip odometer, percent fuel, oil pressure, and now I have the GPS set up. I can tell you direction, elevation, and even outside temp. Damn, son, it's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too.
I had a pickup, 2 pickups. My son had a pickup. Both my sons had a pickup. My cousins, we're pretty close and stuff. We all had trucks. We go to swap meets. We go to a couple little shows here and there. My sister got a kick of it because I had a fairly nice truck, and my brother had one. And I hope he forgives me for saying this, but so Christmas we get some gifts and stuff, and my sister gave me a hat that said C10 Club. So I looked at it and I go, hey, this is kind of cool. She gave my brother one that said C10 Wannabe because this was a little bit of a project. Actually, it'd be cool now because it was a patina truck.
Yeah.
And, that's it now. But, yeah, it was a 69 GMC and, it's seen better days and, had a little bit of rust issues. She gave us the hats. But I looked at the hat and I go, you know what? This is kind of cool. C10 Club. So I went out to the store and I go, what'd you get me? And she told me, so I bought a dozen more. So I gave them to my kids, my cousins. We all had them. So my oldest son, he went out, made a little collage, got, cutouts of all our trucks and put it on a piece of cardboard and taped it all there. And we went to a place that used to be in Fresno called Fat Fender over there by Early Classics. It was like the competition. They kind of went under. And he had a bulletin board of all the customers' truck. So my boy put C10 Club and put it up there. Well, about 3 days later, the owner place calls me up and says, hey, Renee, I got all these guys over here that want to join your club. I started laughing. He goes, I told him, it's his family, there's not really no club. No. Well, in the meanwhile, fast forward a couple years, we start going to do a couple shows. And I meet a guy from Fresno. His name's Kevin Hernandez, good friend of mine now. Has a beautiful 72 Blazer. He calls it, sometimes he calls it bubblegum. I call it the Smurf Revenge. But Kevin's a really nice guy. I got to meet him and stuff. And one day we're there talking, and he goes, yeah. And I had picked up a Blazer. And Kevin comes up to me and says, hey, I see you have a Blazer now. I go, yeah. And he goes, you ever think about bagging it? And I go, well, I kind of thought about it. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll bag it for you. I'll charge you only $300. $300 is cheap. And he goes, but it starts going to some shows together. All right. So he introduced me to some of his friends. They're in Fresno. There was him. There was Ace that has a really nice 72 Suburban. There's Mark V that's been working on a truck. A few other people that are really, really cool. So then, he met my cousin and stuff, and we started going places. So when we go places, we barbecue. We have a few cold ones and stuff. It's really a fun time. Our wives go, and we have a really good time. Well, all these people would come up to us and just say, hey, we want to hang out with you guys. Yeah, this is that. And again, this is like 2004 and stuff. And then when Kevin talked to me, because I went to the Brothers Show, and he was kind of parked over there, and I was parked over there. And, that's when we kind of got together. And then when I got on the forum, I met John, and it was like, hey, we're going to go to the Brothers Show. So he joined us, even though he had to drive further just to drive in with us. We drove in. Well, we drove in with about, because I used to live in Corona where the show's at. We drove in with about 11 vehicles, and the guys at Brothers, they gave us an award for participation. It's like, wow. I go, wow, if you like this, I go, wait till next year. So anyway, and it was like, well, hey, we have hats to say the C10 Club, so it would just turn into the C10 Club. And then Kevin said, no rules, no dues. So we had guys coming up, hey, I got a truck and it's not painted. You know what? We're past all that shit. We did the car club stuff earlier when they had rules, politics. We said, we're not going to have that. Kevin, no rules, no dues. So then people want to come hang out and, it's funny. Hey, we want to barbecue. Yeah. So anyway, so the next year we came to the Brothers Show, John, he brought a few other people. I think we had like 19. So again, they gave us another award, C10 Club. Wait till next year. So we went from 19 to 30-something, and from 30-something to 15-something. So, we just grew and grew. But in the meanwhile, because John's a nice guy and knows all these people, everybody, we're all nice guys, and he put the word out in Southern California and this. Now I'm on the forum. I kind of understand it. I still type with one finger. And hey, what can I do to become a C10 club member? And I go, do you like Chevy trucks? Yeah. I don't even ask him if you have one. Are you a cool guy? Yeah. You're in. You're in. No rules, no dues.
Yeah, you guys got shirts, you got hats.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden,
stickers.
We started having parties and stuff. And then a couple of years later, John goes, hey, there's some guy in Arizona named Dino. He's kind of doing the same thing. And I'm going to go to his party. So John goes, yeah, I went to his party and, I heard about it. And he goes, hey, you got to meet this guy Dino, man. I go, really? He goes, oh, yeah, he's really cool. It kind of reminds me of you. I go, oh, man, I hate him already. I go, yeah. He goes, oh, yeah. I go, I'm going to love him. I hate him. Shit. Love the guy.
Yeah, what's not to love? I mean,
we
again, we were just at Dino's last night.
Yeah,
The get down, it was a lot of fun. We're glad Renee had some things going on, and he was able to free up some stuff to make it. So
yeah, I'm missing one of my cousin's weddings that's going on right now.
just a wedding. Well, I had a guy tell me this. I think he mentioned it last night or something, and it stuck with me. But he goes, maybe the C10 Magnet instead of the C10 King, and I thought it was funny because you have a way of finding these things.
Hey, sometimes they find me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you feel like now, because of who you are and everybody from, your wife at the nail salon to in California, do you feel like they find you? Do you feel like people reach out to you, whether or not they think, hey, he's got the money, he's just going to spend it, or do you actually have to find him?
You know what? I do my homework. Every now and then, I'll tell you what. One time I was on the shit. I was in the little boys' room. And I got a knock on the door I have this neighbor that lives on the street. I've been in my house, how many years now? 13 years. And I got this neighbor that lives down the street, and he's one of these neighbors, we just wave to each other. Every time he goes by, we just wave. We never spoken. Well, one day he comes, knocks on my door. I go, they're opening it. He goes, hey, I live down the street. I'm so-and-so. Hey, how you doing? He goes, I own a used car dealership. I go, oh, okay, cool. He goes, I had this couple come by, brother and sister, their father passed away, and he had 3 vehicles, and one's a whole Chevy pickup. I told him I wasn't interested in it, but I know somebody who might be. He goes, there's a 66 Chevy pickup. They want to know if I want to buy it. I don't want it, but you want to go look at it? So, of course, I was interested, and I go, yeah. So I go, let me go lock up the house. I lock up the house. I go, just come on, ride with me. So I go, by chance, do you know what model it is? Is it a long bed, a steps? I go, it's a short fleet. So
he's talking your language.
Yeah. So, next thing you know is the next day I was driving it home. So I had another occasion where I'm just minding my own business. A guy comes up to me in a wheelchair and said, hey, I seen you on the shows. I know you're into pickups. He goes, I found this truck a few months ago. I had to have it. I've been looking for years and years and years, but I'm in a wheelchair. I thought I could do this and that, and I can. And I thought I'd ask you first before I put it on Craigslist. Well, I appreciate it, very much. Thanks. I'll be out there tomorrow to go look at it. And he goes, yeah, it's a 66, short fleet.
How did he find you, though? How did that guy?
He said he had just seen me there in one of my trucks, talking to people. I go, see you guys barbecue and do this, you seem like a nice guy. I go, oh, you don't know me very well, do you?
So if you had
he's now a C10 Club member.
Oh, see, there you go.
Now he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he passed the initiation. I look, and I drive. I'm not afraid to ask, hey, do you want to sell that? Or, this, make offers, or.
But it seems like they probably are just as finding you too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Put a number, how many do you think you've had over the last, 30 years? Since that black 70.
Oh, man. Oh, shoot. We could say 60, and it might be close to 80.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of C10s.
Yeah. I've owned a couple of them twice.
It's going to be one of those things where it's like a Yanko or something. It's like, oh, this was a C10 King truck. Mm-hmm. You need to put a little stamp on it now.
Yeah. Actually, there's been a couple of Impalas and a couple of 54 Chevys in there too, but majority of them have been pickups.
What if you could have one back, which truck would it be?
Well,
only one.
Oh man, can I say one from each year?
Only one.
It'd probably be a toss-up between the Grey Goose, and you know about the Grey Goose,
oh, yeah.
66. There's some guy, I think his name's Delmo. I mean, he took it to another level.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. Everybody's heard of him. Sometimes I get tired of that D word. No, Dell's good people. He's another guy. Good guy. That pickup, because that's really when I started getting into the 60, 66 body style.
Yeah.
You know, when he did one of his builds called the Blackbird, I couldn't stop staring at the computer. We had a 62 when I was young, and I drove, that body style in high school. I couldn't find no beauty in it. I could not find no beauty. And I used to study it because my dad would say, you don't want that truck. You probably want something more like the 50s. And I could see the beauty in the 50s, the fat fender, but I couldn't see the beauty in the 60 to 66. But when Dell built that Blackbird.
Well, and even before when he built Sam's truck. I mean.
Again, yeah, that was cool. That was cool. But when he built the Blackbird is when I gotta have a truck like this.
Yeah.
He did the other one, he did Sam's, and I met him right after he sold it to him, and everybody knows what a nice guy he is. And we're talking, and I go, hey, that was a nice build, this and that. But when he built that Blackbird, I mean, that's the one that really did it for me. The stance, everything, just laying on rockers and the whole bit. It's like I could see all the beauty from the different angles. It was like looking at a piece of art, just looking at from different views.
When we were talking earlier, I can't remember if it was yesterday but how those trucks just got walked over.
Yeah.
And now
they were the bottom feeders. Everybody wanted 67 to 72s.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted them. Nobody even wanted the short fleets till about 6-7 years. Thank you again, Dell. Thank you very much for the high prices. But, now everybody wants them. I went to the Good Guys show last week in Pleasanton. And I went to go help a buddy sell a pickup that I ended up buying. All the guys, there was guys from Germany. Old painted trucks. Everybody wanted 64, 5 and 6s. Painted trucks, patina trucks. There was guys there from down under, patina trucks. There was even an Asian guy there. Wanted one with an old paint job.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot everywhere.
Yeah, it's hot. They make excellent shop trucks. They're excellent for shop trucks. You see them now, and I'm guilty of that. I have a few that shop trucks, tribute trucks, whatever you want to call them, They're awesome.
So the one you would take back is the Grey Goose.
Grey Goose is one, and probably the blue and white Cheyenne Super that I just sold a few months ago. That was me, man. That was my truck. I don't know if you guys seen the video at the Brothers Show. I really like that truck. That was like the ultimate, because I think at heart I'm still of a 71, 72 fan. Maybe because my dad had that Hugger Orange pickup, the 8-crate grill. It does it for me. I have my Gumby, and Gumby's a truck that, the way I kind of put it, I can't get rid of Gumby because it gave me a little bit of something where everybody knows me, my Gumby. I go, if I get rid of Gumby, I become nobody again. Like I'm really somebody. But
What happened to your dad's truck? Uncle Bob's truck?
Still has it. My Uncle Bob gave it to my cousin, who very rarely drives it. It needs a restoration, but it's still in the family.
Do you have any desire to get it, or do you think you would
I tell him that, but he'll never get rid of it, He likes it, which is good. He don't drive it, but he likes it. He goes, I wouldn't even sell it back to my dad who gave it to me. So it's still there. So it's cool.
So right now, what's your, I was going to say, which is your favorite one in the fleet, but
which is your favorite kid? They're all my favorites.
Yeah, you've got 60 kids.
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids.
Don't tell my wife that. She thinks there's only,
You're a polygamist.
50 or so.
What,
you say it like it's a bad thing.
What truck would you say is a truck that, if you had a bucket list, a truck build, a truck style, a truck that you haven't had a chance to put together, and you're like, I want to build that truck?
Now you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I can't narrow it down to one.
Well, everybody might go buy them before you get a hold of them.
Yeah, that's it. I've had, the different years and stuff, and I don't know. I really can't answer that.
Just kind of go with it and see.
Yeah. Because I can find beauty in anything, pretty much.
Is that part of it for you? The hunt and the challenge to find these trucks.
Oh yeah.
And then
there's that good feeling of finding it, working out a deal, negotiating it.
But then again, like, you stylize it so much. So to me, it's like not only the hunt, but you put your flavor on it, and then
because you know what, I've been laughed at. When I bought the Grey Goose, there was guys. Kevin heard some guys saying, "I can't believe he paid that much." And I didn't pay what I thought was a whole bunch. I paid a fair price, which I thought I was getting a good deal. And it kind of makes me laugh now because I go, wait till they see it in 2 weeks, what I'm going to do with it. And I say, is this the same truck?
Yeah, they don't.
And it don't take much. It doesn't take much, and I can look at it, and say, it just needs this. It needs a stance like that step side, that 72. Different wheels, this and that. When I got the Grey Goose, I go, yeah. I kind of played with it a little bit. I changed the bumpers, put some chrome bumpers. I put a 63 grill. It's my favorite. Brought it down a little bit. Changed the moldings, put some cherry moldings. Sancho was another pickup I had. When I got that, the thing was filthy. But I go, you know what? This is a diamond that's not too rough. It looked ugly. It came out, had rats inside. I go, how often do you find it? And see, again, that was like another thing. Nobody wanted small window 67s. They were ugly. But I go, no, you know what? I had one earlier that I bought because I got a good deal on it. I go, it's a nice truck. I got past the small window thing. That could probably be a joke there about small things. Anyway, when I got Sancho, I go, you know what? I cleaned it up, and one of my cousins, I won't mention his name, but he listens to this, he knows what I'm talking about, goes, that thing's ugly. Why don't you primer it? I go, if I primer it, it'll just be another primer truck. I go, how often do you find it with the paint jobs, still intact? Now it's getting harder and harder,
Yeah.
And I go, no. And when I got it going and everything from a good friend of mine, it's like, some people didn't even want to ride with me in it. I go, what's wrong with it? I'm not going to ride in that. So then I started cleaning it up, doing the things I did. And then when it started coming out magazines, it's like, man, this thing's in a magazine. Hey, I told you it was a nice truck.
Yeah, it has a cool name too.
Yeah. Well, you know what Sancho?
Oh yeah.
I had to explain. The guy I sold it to. I had to tell him a Sancho man. For people that don't know, Sancho's the other man. It's kind of like a Mexican neighborhood prison joke. Sancho's the guy that comes around and.
Hence Sancho the plumber.
Yeah. There's Sancho the plumber, and then there's Sancho Claus that comes around sometimes. But Sancho, is the other man.
So with your ability to look at these diamonds that aren't so rough, mm-hmm. and your ability to have the styling, we had Early Classic on last show. Awesome! It was so cool to catch.
Good people.
It was good time talking up to those guys.
Good people make a good product.
What I look at your ochre and white, your green and white, and that back then it was 15s, it was two-tone 71, 72s, and you talk about whether or not it has the right stance, whether or not it's a steely and it needs to be painted, and the white wall's too fat or too skinny. In the last 20 years, from the patina to the 66, 60 to 66 getting more popular, what trends do you like? What trends do you see and you feel like you look back and you are the C10 King and you've had these trucks and to where we are today with what guys are doing?
I'm a big fan of the patina because I'm lazy.
But don't you think that whether it's lazy, don't you think that the reason why I like it so much is, I guess you could say it's lazy, but I don't have to fret over it.
Yeah, and that's not only not fretting it. Like I drive my concrete truck. It looks good, filthy. I clean the windshield every now and then just to look out of it. And if I didn't have to clean a look out of it, I probably wouldn't clean it because it goes with it because it's a work truck.
You're not worried about every nut and bolt.
My grandkids could bump into it with bicycles. They can jump on the back bumper. I can do this. If it wasn't so low, I could even throw stuff in the back.
Well, it's the truck.
Yeah, it's a truck, and it's used as a truck.
And the thing
is, like the other ones too. That I have. I can use them as pickup. Now take Gumby. Gumby's spoiled. And my brother even told me one time with one of my nice trucks, he goes, "You don't own them. They own you."
The nice trucks?
Yeah, the nice trucks.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's good point.
Well, and you bring up your concrete truck, you bring up Sancho. The trend that I kind of see for you is theme trucks. You've got Felix going. Yeah. You've got these project theme trucks.
Yeah.
What is that? Just because that's a phase of like the patina, or that's just a phase where you're like, hey, I can do this and I don't have to stress about it. It gives the truck identity.
Probably all of the above.
It gives it character.
Yeah. Well, that's like Sancho. It was my idea. So that was kind of cool. The Felix truck. Again, it was my idea. And I'll be honest with you. I got tired of all these people. I used to see all these cars, a lot of low riders and stuff, that have these Felix frames. Everything was Felix this, Felix that. I go, half these people have never been over there, or I see them up there where I live. I go, these guys never been to Felix Chevrolet, but it was just a name. when I wanted to do the shop truck, when I got this white pickup, it was like, well, I want to do a Chevrolet dealership truck. And it was after, Dell and everybody went to the Lambert Chevrolet thing. I go, I should do a Lambert Chevrolet, shop truck or tribute truck. And actually somebody did one, and I was thinking about it, but I go, well, why would I do one from Nebraska when I live in California? So then I started thinking, well, Felix Chevrolet has been here almost 100 years. So why not? I thought it'd be cool because, I had the right truck for it. This is the right. And I go, all this, people will be blown away. And, I kind of like, surprising them with different stuff.
What kind of helped that creative juices flow for the concrete truck? What's your thought process behind that? Because, again, that is such a cool...
well, that one...
Well, we're looking at a shirt. So Renee's got a shirt.
Yeah, I'm looking at my shirt.
Renee's got a shirt. Yeah, so the classic scene, the C10 crew guys put together a shirt, and I don't know if you guys knew that they were neighbors, and because
at the one and done, all of a sudden comparing notes,
and so then they came out and did a photo shoot with you.
They asked me, the guys are really nice guys, they're young guys, and they said, hey, do you mind if we take pictures of your truck and put on a shirt? I go, no, what a compliment. What a compliment. I go, yeah, I don't care, They go, we'll give you a couple shirts. Yeah, whatever, I was all for it. And they did an awesome job. We met one morning and, they took a couple pictures. But, with that truck, as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. My son had seen it, and a good friend of mine had seen it. I go, have you seen this Merced concrete truck? And we live in Merced County.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was a real business. The guy I bought it from, who's a good friend of mine now, and in fact, is doing a big back window conversion on my Felix truck as we speak. I saw the truck on eBay. We just got back from the Brothers Show last year. The heat wave had started. And I told the wife, it was 4th of July, and I go, honey, it's too hot. I'm not going to the 4th of July parade. I'm staying home, and I'm going to watch the Twilight Zone marathon. I used to be a hardcore zoning. And I was watching, there was an episode I wasn't crazy of. So I go, I haven't been on eBay Motors in a long time. What should we look at today? 1966. Boom. Merced concrete truck.
Right there.
I looked at it. 17 minutes left. I looked at it. I read it real quick. I go, this is the truck they were talking about. And I read the ad real quick. And the guy was honest about it. He said he added the stuff, but I just read through it quick. And I go, wow. So I called the guy up. I go, this guy is just 10 miles away. So I called him up. Hey, dude, I saw your truck. Boom, boom, boom. Tell me about it. I go, I can't drive over there.
And this bid is going right 17 minutes?
The bid is going on. The bid's on right now, and there's 17 minutes, and I'm talking to the owner, and he's telling me about it. I go, dude, I don't like to buy anything sight unseen. But he's telling about it. He says it's pretty cool. Told me he built it for himself, and he said it's a good running truck, and I go, that is so cool. So we hang up on the phone. Now there's about 7 minutes left. My wife comes walking by. I go, hey, baby, come over here. She goes, what? I go, look at this truck. Isn't this truck cool? She goes, yeah, I like that. I go, wow. She goes, you going to bid on it? And, wow.
You got an amazing wife.
Yeah, I know. She loves to cook. So anyway, she goes, you going to bid on it? I go, well, I don't know. I just talked to the owner. And she goes, you want me to set it up for you to bid? Because, all this computer stuff. I go, yeah, go ahead and set it up. So anyway, she sets it up, and there's like 3 minutes.
And there's already guys bidding?
Yeah, oh yeah, the bid was already, I can say, the bid was at $8,000. And so she goes, okay. And she goes, what would you pay for it? I go, wow, I don't know. Maybe $9,000? She goes, you have the $9,000? I go, yeah, I have it. She goes, okay. I go, 85. And then she goes, okay. And she bids. I go, no, wait till the very end. Wait till the very end. It's too late. Congratulations, you have the high bid at 81. I go, you know what? Somebody's going to outbid me. Let's just watch. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Then all of a sudden, it, boom, 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 boom. Congratulations, you're the higher bidder at 83. And I go, oh, wow. She goes, you won. Then buyer's remorse is already sitting in. Every time I buy a pickup, believe it or not, I go through buyer's remorse. What have I done? I did it again. This and that. Well, you know what? I'll drive it for a little while and I'll sell it. She goes, I thought you liked it. I go, I do like it, but I like money more. So I called the dude up. Hey, Jared, it's me, Renee. But in the truck, I want it, so I'll be over there tomorrow after I get the money out of the bank. So So I go over to his house, I'm looking at it, this is cool looking. This is really cool, sits nice and low, has a static drop. And I go, it can't ride good as low as it is. I go, how does it ride? Like shit? And he goes, it rides good. He goes, and I put the shock relocators, I put, the shocks, the coils. I cut the coils, but I put the tapered ones in the back with blocks. I C-notched it. Really? He goes, yeah, it rides good. I go, how's it run? He goes, everything works. Heater works, signals work. He goes, I went through it. I pulled it out, changed all the gaskets, did this and that, went through the head and everything. He goes, I built it for myself. The only reason I'm getting rid of it is I'm in the Volkswagens, and I found a bus I have to have, so that's the only reason I'm getting rid of it.
And it's like 15 minutes from you.
Yeah. 15 minutes fighting the traffic. I mean, it was close by. So anyway, I fired it up. It was quiet. I go, well, a 6-cylinder to me has to have dual pipes. I go, I like the sound of a 6-cylinder. I go, I've split the manifold. And he goes, no, quiet. I go, no, I got to have some sound. And I took off, and I couldn't believe how nice it rode. It rode really, really nice, except it was geared kind of low. So we fixed that. I had a buddy that was changing a pickup that had a 308 rear end from a 6-lug to a 5-lug, so he gave me the rear end. We slapped it in, and marriage made it heaven. I can cruise that thing at 75, 80 miles, and as low as it rides good. Going up hills and everything, I mean, it couldn't ask for a better performance. Starts up on the first click, has electronic ignition. It's an awesome truck.
So did you buy a bunch of concrete? I'm
a yard sale junkie.
Yeah.
So I started hitting all the yard sales.
You got a stamp. You probably have a Fresno float in there.
Yeah. 3 floats. The whole bid. I had a shovel, but I was afraid somebody might hit me with it or something. So I took the shovel out. Got a couple.
Because you got it themed out to the max.
Yeah. Got an ice cooler. Got a Coca-Cola.
You got your hose in there.
Yeah, I got my hose.
It's like you're going to. I'm almost wondering.
What's funny? I get stopped.
Oh, I'm wondering.
And they asked me for a
Mexican guy in a concrete truck.
Imagine that. I had a Vietnamese guy ask me for, he wanted my card. That way I could do it. I go, and I knew he wouldn't understand, so I just told him I was retarded and didn't do it anymore. I was begging me, I need some work, then I'll pay you. And I go, no. Then I had another guy, Mexico. I don't know if he's asking for a job. He was just buttering me up, but, he was asking me, for a card, because he wanted some concrete work. I just told him I don't do that anymore. I'm done. Retired.
Oh, man, that's a great story.
Yeah, it's a fun truck, though. I even had shirts made look like work shirts that say Merced Concrete on it. Wear them on special occasions.
Well, I think, too, what happens is the personality of the truck, just like this concrete truck, it gets to be big, and with social media, why wouldn't somebody want to buy that from you and pay you top dollar?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So do you have a truck right now in your fleet that you do not think you will sell?
The closest one is going to be the Blazer. My Blazer, I've had the 2-wheel drive Blazer, the one with the flames, because I let my wife drive that. My wife likes going topless in that Blazer. So I used to have a 64 SS convertible, and she was upset when I sold it. I got some good money for it. Again, like I told everybody, I'm a money whore. Some guy came and gave me more than I expected, so I sold the car, and she got mad. Because I used to let her cruise the 64, and she liked going topless. So she tells me I can't sell the Blazer because I let her drive that.
So she goes topless. She lets you buy the trucks that you want to buy, and she's a good cook.
And she's a good cook.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep her, man.
Oh, yeah, I got to keep her. She's good. Yep.
So we'll start to wrap it up.
I talked too much on it.
No, not at all. It's going good. It's going good.
I need a beer.
I'll hit a few more questions that I'm kind of looking at. Again, going back to Stan and early classic, do you find it, like you said, you like to go yard sailing, and
love it.
Do you that's back to the hunt, though.
Car swap meets.
Yeah, you like
car
to hunt.
shows. I will go to a car swap meet first.
Do you find it harder and harder to find the parts that you're looking for?
Yes. They're drying up.
Yeah, I think that I know the answer to that question.
Like these 60 to 67 hubcaps. People are always looking for them, They made a bazillion of them. Can't find them. Today, one of the swap meet. Even the factory mirrors, stuff we used to throw away. Maybe everybody threw them away. Can't find them.
Yeah.
Can't find them. All the parts, disappearing.
Do you try to stockpile some of that?
Oh, yeah. I try, then somebody will call me, hey, I have this. Do you have this or do you have that? Then again, I'm a money whore, so, well,
How do you know what to sell it for? How do you on parts?
That's a good question. Buy cheap, sell high.
Just get a read and say, hey, this is what I think the value is?
Yeah. And I tell them, like with everything, sometimes, what trucks do, I go, if there's a truck there that I really want to hold on to, I go, I'm the guy that doesn't have to sell. But if you pay me this much, like when I sold my Super, I really didn't want to sell it. I gave the guy a high price. And he met my,
Where is that truck? I remember when we saw you at the Brothers show, you had just sold it.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
It's not too far away from me. It's not too far away.
Well, and then you had just bought the orange big window, and you sold that.
Yeah.
Was it a 66?
66.
Yeah.
65.
Oh, okay.
65.
Yeah, because how long do you think you had that truck?
15 months.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering if you had a year. It was that thing
15
was.
months.
Do you feel like with the social media and whether it's the forum, Instagram, and just the power of even Facebook, do you feel like that has added a complete different level to these trucks because guys are posting on Instagram, they're
definitely,
eBay,
definitely.
And so it used to be, hey, you would Auto Trader, Auto Trader. Now you're going through Craigslist.
Yeah.
Now it's like Instagram, boom, somebody posts it, and 3 of their buddies see it.
Oh yeah, right away. Whenever I get something, right away, what's this one going to go for? Hey, whether they're filling me out or whatever, I put anything, on the forum, especially on the 6772 forum. I get people right away. What's the price on this one? So I give them my high price. It's like, well, if you're going to buy it now, this is my buy it now before I start putting money into it. This is my today's price. Tomorrow might be this much more because I'm going to go find that extra molding, that extra accessory or whatever, or get my hands dirty.
Oh, that's good. Well,
which I don't do very often.
Again, he is the C10 King. I was starstruck the first time I was able to meet him. We couldn't ask for a better ambassador to the C10 trucks. But I mean, literally, the 2 builders that we've had, Dino and Renee, I'm just honored. I'm truly honored to have these guys sit in front of me, interview these guys. And again, I'm talking about the media, the podcast, and part of, for me to kind of create and just do this was really because these guys are they're so approachable, and I think their reputation of who they are is so big, and whether they want it to be that big or not, it is. And I even had a guy tell me today, a guy who came from Texas, he told us tonight, he's like, oh my God, I got to meet the C10 King. And he's like, I can't believe how down to earth he is. And I don't know if it's just.
I give him $20 over the time. I give him 20. I still got to go buy him a drink.
He bought him dinner. So I think it is. It's a great group of people, and the C10 club and the C10 culture and the family that we live in. We're happy that Renee is the king. We're happy that we have these builders and these people that bring everybody together.
There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good people out there that want to hang out and have the same likes as us. So, I mean, we're fortunate because there's a lot of good people that have the same likes as us.
Yeah, I mean, we could kind of wrap it up on just the community and how powerful we can all get together and talk about trucks.
Yeah.
But even like the party last night, it was so cool that there was daily drivers that guys are wrenching on, weekly to keep on the road to super duper good guys, award-winning show trucks. Yeah. And everybody comes together for one common core. Mm-hmm. And it's
so true.
Yeah, and it's so fun. Mm-hmm. Again, Renee is the king. Whether he likes it or not, he is the king. He is extremely approachable. I hope that you guys can all meet him, and we're honored to have you, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
All right, Ronnie. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right. That's all, folks.